Hey there, it's Lacy J here to ask you to go to spacebearmedia.com right now to access all our content, buy yourself some merch, and most importantly, send us a message, the latter of which we'll reply to on our newly revamped weekly pre-shows, where we have as many fun segments as we do on the audio pod. There are current events with Christy, corrections and observations with Ben, and as always, questions with Derek. Plus, I have new fun facts and tell a terrible fucking joke every single week. Please join us, and please consider rating and reviewing us on your favorite app or recommending us to a friend who loves Lost. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Lost in My 40s, Season 3, Episode 6. It's called I Do. It's a Kate episode, and it's a Ben episode. But first, how's everybody doing today?
Good. How are you?
Doing great.
Awesome. We're all very excited. We think we've finally fixed some long-term sound issues, and so we apologize for seasons 1 and 2, but I think we're going to be going better from now on. All right, let's see what else is new. Are you guys watching the pre-shows? That's you, the listeners I'm talking to right now. Are you watching them? Could you please, and could you message us so we can respond to you on one? Can you do that? Oh, I heard a yes. Did you hear that? I heard a yes. Ben, could you update us on what our power rankings are after the first 5 episodes of season 3?
Yeah. At the end of episode 5, we had Sawyer in a commanding first place with 44 points.
Hell yeah, Sawyer.
Juliet in second place with 37, and Mr. Echo getting into the top 3 with 22 points, where he is likely to stay at that point total unless...
I think he's going as far as he's going to go.
Yeah, but I'm glad that he hit the top 3 before he died. I guess it was technically after he died, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, unless somebody's into necrophilia or something, we're likely to keep him at 22 points.
Not my thing.
Don't judge. Yeah. Don't judge. Jeez.
I will judge.
Something about kink shaming?
No, I will judge that. That's because no. Who's in the bottom? Ben.
I'll give you a guess.
Dad Pants Danny?
Yes, but he's not. He's not actually the one who's in first place or in worst place or whatever the fuck it is. Bottom place.
Is it Paolo?
That would be Paolo. Yes, with Dad Pants Danny in second and Jack in third.
God, is Jack ever gonna dig himself out of this hole he's created in the first episode?
I guess we'll have to find out. He's gonna have to do some heroic. Heroic shit. That, or you guys have to mount him. You have to mount him a lot.
Some heroic shit. All right. Well, Ben, would you like to take us through season 3, episode 6? I do, and we'll see if there any heroic shit happens.
I will.
All right. Cool. Let's do it.
So this episode starts in a flashback. We see a brunette woman walking down a motel hallway, and we can only really see the back of her head.
They do this a lot with Kate.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that in her episodes? We're always following her head down like a hallway or in a car or something like that. And then we're not supposed to know it's Kate, although it always is obvious that it's her.
I'd love just seeing the back of her head. That'd be great.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. On the top of her head.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Yeah, why not? So she's carrying a box and a shopping bag, and she opens the door to room 752. As she turns, we can see it's a younger Kate. She's got kind of a, what does that look? She's wearing
like
the kind of
50s,
headscarf or whatever.
60s, like 60s maybe. The headscarf
it's like 60s.
kind of. Yeah, 60s, like housewife sort of. They dress her that way through this entire episode.
They do.
Yeah.
It's kind of hot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure why. Anyway, it's a younger Kate. She puts the box on the bed.
Why.
Yeah, seriously. She puts the box on the bed, and then she opens it, revealing a wedding veil.
What?
Then there's a knock at the door, and a voice identifies them on the person at the door as a police officer.
Uh-oh.
Kate says she's fine, but the voice says that there's a dangerous person in the motel, and they're doing a room-to-room search. She continues to sort of delay and says something about, like, I'm fine. He says, well, if somebody had a gun to your head, they'd tell you to say that. And then he threatens to break down the door.
It's kind of funny how he decides to make this joke about a dangerous person in the hotel, but
yeah,
he was right the whole time.
Exactly.
Yep.
He threatens to break down the door if she doesn't open it. And then as he starts to count down, 3, 2, 1, she opens up the door, and who's standing there but
Captain Malcolm Reynolds.
Yay!
Captain Malcolm Reynolds? Yes. Anybody? That's a reference to Firefly, the show, and then the movie Serenity.
Please. If they don't get that reference, they shouldn't be listening to this podcast. Probably, you're not cool
or
enough.
Bring Firefly back.
Exactly. Or we can turn some people
Amazon, do it.
We can turn some people on
Netflix, whoever.
Yeah. We can be, like Ben said, we can turn them onto Firefly.
Okay, so I take it back. You are super cool, and you should go watch Firefly.
When you're done with us.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's a great show. If you have not seen it, it's like a Western in space. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Space Cowboys.
Exactly.
Anywho.
So when she opens the door, the cop sits there and kind of smirks and says, "Want to get it on?" Kate says, "Hell yeah," and then jumps into his arms, and it's very cute.
She really did take a leap.
Yeah,
she did.
Flying leap
she did.
into his arms. It is cute.
It is cute. Just to end that cuteness, though, she wakes up in a cage, and it's day 72 on Hydra Island. And the siren is blaring, "Warning, warning," and Sawyer's throwing rocks at the contraption. She comments that he was only supposed to pull the lever to get that, and he snaps, "I know how to get a damn fish biscuit."
I know how to get a damn fish biscuit.
Wow, that's even more. You went triple hick right there.
Yeah. You went a little too far.
Excuse me. Sorry, I triple hicked
She
it.
asks him to do so, and he wonders if she's just trying to keep him productive. And we go into the... You're going to say something?
Nope. I said, I was agreeing.
Got it. In the Hydra tank, Ben enters Jack's cell where Juliet is already standing. I think she's on the other side of the glass, though, right? I'm trying to think about this.
So.
She's on the other side of the glass.
Yeah.
And Jack is asking her about Ben's blood tests and his x-rays. She tells him that the radiographs or x-rays are only a week old. Jack tells Ben that the tumor is borderline inoperable and will definitely be so within a week.
Yeah, because how does he know that?
I know.
Yeah.
Also, given the fact, could you guys get him a place, like a room that has some decent lights in it? He's looking at these things, having to hold them up, looking at the lights in that dark ass room. I'm like, come on, man.
But Jack is the most skilled doctor that's ever lived.
Oh yeah.
Looks at one couple x-rays and he goes,
He just had it. He's like, oh yeah, I can tell. I have nothing to compare its growth to, so I have there's no. It's
I was thinking
that
at the same time I was watching.
one
it too.
x-ray.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like it's okay. 2 months ago it looked like this, and now it looks like no. I get one
That's
X-ray.
a super
and I'm
fast growing tumor.
You're dead in a week, asshole.
And as we
That's
find
it.
out later, they don't even know at this point if it's malignant or not.
Yeah.
I don't know how they could if they hadn't taken a biopsy.
Exactly.
You can't know that.
Exactly. So would it be even if a tumor is big, if it's not malignant, is it really as big a deal? Would it?
I mean, I suppose it could be.
Not being
if
a
it's
spinal
growing on
surgeon,
your...
I don't know the nuances of
Well,
this type of
I would
stuff.
imagine it would be causing a lot of pain, or maybe it could even cause paralysis if it grew in the wrong spot on your spine. But yeah, I don't know how it would kill you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. Please, any spinal surgeons, listen to the pod.
Yeah.
Spacebearmedia.com/contact. Let us know how that would work, please.
We're going to find out a large share of our listenership is actually spinal surgeons.
Is actually spinal surgeons?
Right.
Probably.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Wouldn't surprise me at all.
They listen to this podcast while doing surgery because we're so it's very calming. It's their zen place.
But we don't have any cobblers listening.
Fuck
Right.
no. Shortage of them in the world.
Oh my God.
We need shoes.
Exactly. So Jack says to Ben, "You need to be in surgery yesterday."
What? Okay.
Yeah. And Ben says, "Well, basically I'm ready to go." And then Jack sort of laughs and says, "No, I think you might have misunderstood me. I didn't say I was going to do it. I just wanted you to understand how you're going to die. You think I believe you people? You think I trust you? That I'm just going to go into surgery and hope that you let me go? Yeah. Welp. Then
I mean, he's not wrong.
Nope.
No, fuck no. Like, he's been... Have you noticed they don't even give him a blanket? Like, he doesn't have a pillow or a blanket at all. That's why they're asking him to do surgery.
It's
It's
a
like,
hard-ass metal table.
Like, metal table in there, right.
Seriously.
I mean, I guess they bring him, like, cheeseburgers and toothpicks, but still,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
a blanket
Grilled cheese
wouldn't
sandwiches,
hurt.
yeah.
What the hell?
he's just going to kill Ben in surgery because of the cantaloupe.
I said no cantaloupe.
Seriously, man. The three of them kind of stare at each other for a second after Jack drops that little bomb. And Ben says he's disappointed in Jack. And Jack responds, well, Ben, at least you won't have to be disappointed for very long.
Boom.
That's right.
Ouch.
And that takes us to the title screen. Yeah,
And just like that, Jack rockets up in the power rankings.
exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. He's kind of baller these next couple episodes.
Yeah, he's a little cray-cray, but in a kind of a great way. Yeah.
He's cray in a great way right now.
I accidentally quoted Family Guy just then. It's so ingrained in me that the lyrics, that the lines just come out of my mouth when I don't even realize it. All right, sorry.
Yeah,
We're
it's
at
sort
the
of like
lost
being
title screen.
it's like being a Fox News watcher.
Damn.
Woo! Right, lost
All right.
title screen. Very
Lost title
dramatic
screen.
bit. All right.
We come back, things go in and out of focus, and then we're to flashback number 2, where we're in the hotel room in a state of post-coital bliss. The cop uniform strewn across the bed, Kate with her fiance, Captain Malcolm Reynolds. Are we just going to call him that this entire episode? Because you have it written down that way.
I put it as Captain in the spreadsheet. I put it as Kevin, also known as Captain Malcolm Reynolds.
Yeah, just call him Mal.
Because that's who he is.
Anywho, they're cuddling. Again, it's very cute. Kate tells him that it's bad luck to see the bride before the wedding, and he says that it's actually bad luck to see the bride in her wedding dress before the wedding, but that she is naked.
Oh, yeah.
They laugh, and he tells her he knows that this is right, even though it's been really, really fast. He says, I know it's real, and I love you, Monica.
Monica.
To which she replies, I love you too, Chandler. His name is actually Kevin. She says, I love you too, Kevin.
You sound like Monica. You sounded more like Janice. I love you too,
I love you, Chandler. Yeah.
Chandler Bang.
It was sort of like it was somewhere between Chandler or between her and Lois, I think. Lois after she had like testosterone injections.
Oh, wow.
So that little love nest comes to an end, and then right there we're back in the present, and it's Dead Pants Danny walking up to the cages.
Dead Pants.
Dead Pants Danny.
Dead Pants, a little foreshadowing.
We know things are coming. Yeah, a little foreshadowing.
Is he with Booth?
And Dead Pants and Booth. So anyway,
right.
Dad Pants and his bugle boy Gene shows up at the cages and tells Kate that it's time for work. She asks about Sawyer, but Danny says he has the day off. Kate refuses to work if Sawyer's not in, saying we're a team. What does she say here? She says he breaks the rocks, she hauls them.
Or she says it to Sawyer, I think. We're a team. You break the rocks, I haul them. Yeah,
you know, she's trying to switch it up on him because last time she was the one breaking the rocks and he was the one hauling them. And we were thinking, what the hell?
see.
That's a bad division of labor. To which Danny says, Lord knows I wouldn't want to break up the team.
Actually, that's hilarious. And I give 1 point to Dad Pants Danny.
Dead Pants Danny.
Dead Pants.
Back on the main island, Desmond covers Echo's body with a sheet. Locke picks up the cross, and Nikki wants to know what happened.
Shut the fuck up, Nikki.
Locke tells her it was probably one of the bears.
The Bears.
The bears. Locke decides he's going back to the beach to grab a couple of shovels to bury Echo in the jungle and spare the beach crew another funeral. Saeed wants to go with him because it's not safe alone.
Yeah, but Saeed says that. But you can tell by the Saeed look on his face. He knows something's up. And he wants to go with Locke to try to pry it out of him.
Wants to go on a quest.
Well, Locke is pretty much always up to something.
Yeah.
I guess
Is he giving him the side eye?
Yeah, pretty much.
The side eye, yeah.
The side eye?
All right.
So, after Locke and Saeed are away from Nikki and Paolo, Saeed asks what really killed Echo. Locke tells him it's what folks at the beach have been calling the monster. Saeed wants to know what Locke thinks it is, and Locke says he wonders if it's the same thing that brought them to the island. Saeed wonders if the monster decided Echo was meant to die. Locke says that he knows he died for a reason. He just doesn't know what that reason is yet. And then Saeed asks if they're really going back to the camp.
Very Locke.
That's so like I believe this thing. I just don't know why yet.
Yep.
Yep.
Echo was the sacrifice the island required.
Exactly.
Like Booth.
So when Saeed asks if they really go back to the camp, Locke says, "Sure we are. Just need to take a little detour first."
Of course.
So we're back at the Hydra work site where we see Sawyer loading rocks, not breaking them. He's not breaking the rocks. I just want to point that out.
Yep. Division. Break up the team.
Kate's division of labor lasted about 5 seconds, and Kate is throwing wood on a fire. And the loudspeaker suddenly blares, "Warning, campground breach."
What?
Compound.
Campground?
Did I say campground?
Yes, you did. Campground.
Okay.
It's a shitty campground.
Campground.
Campground. Breach.
The
Beach.
bears,
Warning.
the bears are in the campground. All right.
Deadpan Danny's in the campground. With Booth.
God, what is happening?
Yeah. So, sorry, compound breach. Danny tells the guards to get Sawyer and Kate on the ground before he speaks to someone over the walkie-talkie. And Kate hears him say, "Did the doctor get out again?"
Uh-oh.
Whoa. The person on the walkie-talkie says something back, and Danny asks how the hell she got over here. Suddenly, one of the guards is hit by something, and Alex comes running out of nowhere, pelting the others using a slingshot.
It's amazing.
She's
It's like
hilarious.
Yeah, they have guns.
She is a scrappy little thing, isn't she?
hopping out of the forest with her fucking rocks. I love it.
She's a lot like her mother.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Except they'd be taking like crossbow bolts to the head if it were her
Right.
mother.
Yep.
She tells Sawyer and Kate to get up and go. She turns and finds Danny standing there with a gun pointed at her. She challenges him to shoot her and demands to know where someone is, saying that she wants to talk to Ben. Then another comes up from behind her and restrains her and starts to drag her away. And as they go, Alex screams at Kate, don't listen to whatever they say. Don't believe them. They're going to kill your boyfriend just like they killed mine." And Kate and Sawyer stare at each other.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Carl!
Coral. Danny tells Juliet he's confused and thought they had 2 weeks. She explains the schedule has been moved up and it's coming directly from Ben. Danny says that he thinks that's stupid. Juliet walks over to Kate, hands her hood, and tells her that to put it on and go with her. If Kate listens, there is a way that she can keep Danny from murdering Sawyer. Kate stares at Sawyer while he's breaking rocks. It says looking fine as fuck, so I can tell who wrote this.
Yeah.
I wrote that in there to make you read it.
Yeah. Big old gorgeous hunka man. Anywho, Kate pulls the hood over her head, and that takes us to flashback number 3. In flashback number 3, Kate is standing nervously in front of a mirror wearing a white wedding dress.
It's cute, too. It's the cute dress.
It is
Looks good
a
on her.
cute dress. The groom's mother comes in dressed in sort of this flowery teal dress. She tells Kate that there's a room full of excited cops out there, and she's asked them not to shoot their guns when she says I do.
Yeah,
that a
first
thing?
of all,
I mean,
what? I don't,
is it
is that what cops do? Do they shoot guns at weddings?
Is it a room
what
full of
the hell?
excited moron cops?
Yeah.
I mean,
But also, Kate,
I mean, is it a church full of black people? Maybe they do tend to
Damn.
shoot black people.
that's
Whoa.
true.
oh, I thought for a second you were trying to say if it was black people that they would be shooting like Like
They would be, not the
right,
cops.
like the most racist thing I would have ever heard you say.
Oh, no. I mean the cops shooting the black people.
I know that I get. Oh my god, I was like, Christy, where are you going? Okay.
Speaking of Fox
Anywho.
News,
Hold on. Oh my god. So, Kate, what are you doing with your life? You're a fugitive and you couldn't find anybody else to get
gonna
into a
marry a fucking
relationship
cop?
with other than a cop? What are
Yeah,
you
what the
fuck?
doing?
he must have just
Yeah.
laid down some serious D on her, like got her
Oh.
brain scrambled.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I mean, I can believe that. Captain Malcolm.
She calls Kate Monica and gives her a locket, saying that my mother gave this to me on my wedding day, and she told me one day I'd give it to my daughter, but since I had 4 boys, I'm forced to give it to you.
Forced? She didn't say that.
Forced.
Correct. She did not say that. Kate puts the locket on and looks in the mirror, and with sort of a blank face, she says, "It's perfect."
Monica.
Now at the altar, Monica and Kevin are holding hands and gushing at each other. The priest says, "You know, Kevin's been coming to the church here since he has been about yay high. When I first met you, Monica, I was struck by your honesty and devotion to Kevin." Like, what did she do? Did she how did she prove her devotion to him in like this like casual meeting?
I don't
Yeah.
know, but it sounds like they've been together for what, like months at this point? Just a few
Yeah.
months?
Yeah, because he said earlier we're moving fast.
Right. So, what did she do to come in and prove herself to a bunch of trigger-happy cops
Seriously.
and this priest? It's so weird.
The priest says, when I asked him what he loved most about you, he said, "What you see is what you get."
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
She's
Nope.
really got this guy fooled.
Yeah, man, this dumb, handsome simpleton.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he's a simp.
So the priest continues. That being said, you've got the rings, vowed your vows. I now pronounce you husband and wife. And
Vowed
then
your vows.
Vowed your vows, yeah. Then the wedding march starts to play, and they kiss joyfully and walk down the aisle holding hands. Again, just adorable.
Yeah, so happy.
I love that.
Very,
I
very
wrote,
cheesy.
I
Yeah.
love that I wrote in the outline that they kiss and then joyfully walk down the aisle. And Ben said they joyfully kiss. I know.
Walk
I'm
down
just
the- Hey,
picturing
Joyful. Hey,
what a joyful
Hey.
kiss looks
it'd be
like.
joy to kiss
Is
a
it?
Kate. Yes.
you know what they say? I dyslexia heart.
Okay.
Back in Jack's tank cell, the door on the other side of the glass opens and Juliet walks in with a hooded Kate. I've got several fantasies that start with this.
Oh my God.
She and Jax silently stare through the glass and move slowly closer to one another. And then it's kind of
Honestly,
weird
the
at
way
this
they
point.
look at each other in this scene is beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
It makes me want to cry. Because
Yeah.
they're so genuine about seeing each other for the first time. Like after, well, what at this point it's been maybe pushing a week. How many days have they been?
I don't know.
I'm not even
Not
sure.
really sure.
Yeah.
Maybe
not
4
sure.
days or something.
Not sure.
Anyways, the way
say.
they look at each other is gorgeous and beautiful, and I love
Yeah.
it.
And it's funny because then they have to, like, Juliet, they kind of look at her and she's like, oh yeah, okay, I'll leave. She should
Yeah.
have just left. It's like she was kind of leering at them a little bit.
Yeah, give
I
them
mean,
a minute, lady.
I think she might be a little jealous of Kate at this point.
Wants
Oh.
a threesome.
You think she likes Jack?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Most
She wants a threesome.
Oh my God. Well, she's had one, I'm sure, with Jack and I, at least. At some
Yeah.
point in this podcast, have I not? I maybe
Yeah,
I
but one
haven't boned
a
both of
threesome
them
that
yet.
she chose, not one that she was forced
Oh,
into.
hey!
Yeah, that's one
All
thing you got to
right.
say. None of these characters have a choice about the threesomes we get them into. Like it's just they are our bitches.
Well,
It's a
I like to fantasize that they gave consent, enthusiastic, joyful consent.
Joyful.
So
right.
Juliet leaves, and they immediately get down to trading facts about their situations, holding back the emotion and the real things they want to say. Kate mentions the cages and the labor and tells them that he needs to do whatever they ask him to do. And Jack wants to know what they did to her to get her to say that. And she starts to cry. He keeps demanding to know what they did to make her tell him to do that. And she screams out, they're going to kill Sawyer.
That's where I got a little teary-eyed.
Uh-huh. Yeah. There's so much going on there, too, because, like, you see, like, poor Jack has to realize, you know, he's dragging it out of her. He wants to know what her motivation is, and then he finds out it's Sawyer. But then also, like, you can tell she's genuinely frightened for Sawyer. Yeah, so much going on in that moment.
I mean, Jack, if he's really, like, if you're looking at this from a passing on your genes perspective, like, he could just not do the surgery, and then Sawyer gets killed and he gets Kate.
There you go.
What? If you're looking at this from a passing on your genes point of view,
hey man, it's
first
Lord of the
all,
Flies. It's Lord of the Flies, man. It's every man for himself.
Man.
No.
Survival of the surgeon.
Oh my god, no! And then also, just because Sawyer is eliminated doesn't mean Jack gets her like by default. What
Once again,
Well, he'll
we're-
start
we're-
with Sawyer. He'll move
once
on
again-
down to all the men.
There's no consent in any of these threesomes, although you joyfully think of them as joyfully giving consent. I'm just imagining that.
now I'm joyfully thinking about it too. It's like, why do you attach the word joyfully to all of the wrong things?
Because I'm an emotional mess.
Oh fuck.
And then she tells.
So Jack does think about passing on the genes.
Exactly.
Jack, that's Ben speaking through Jack.
No, Jack
That's
says
part of Ben's fantasy.
That's part of the fantasy.
Passing on
it
genes.
starts with Kate in the hood, and it ends with Ben passing on his genes.
he probably does want to pass his genes on to Kate. With or without the hood.
This particular fantasy ends with my genes all over her.
Yeah.
If you want to call that passing them on, that's one way of doing it.
Oh my God. Yeah, here, this is yours now.
Here you go.
Do with them what you want.
Then
Holy
she tells, okay, wow, this has devolved very, very quickly.
Yep.
She also tells him that they will let them go if he does the surgery. And Jack questions whether they should believe that, and Kate says that she has to. Jack shouts at the surveillance camera, "We're done."
Oof.
And then the camera pans back to show Ben in the Hydra viewing room or whatever, watching all the TV screens. And Kate is screaming, "Jack, I'm sorry." And then she says something else that you can't really quite make out. And Ben tells Juliet to get her out of there. And in the background, Kate can still be heard screaming, "Jack, Jack, please." And this is an intense shot of Ben's face. It's like, I feel like it's like 30 seconds straight of him just staring.
Yeah.
And it's unsettling. I felt like after that, it took me a little while to get a stomach for food again.
Yeah, because you can see the wheels a turning in old Ben's head, trying to figure out how to manipulate this situation.
Yeah, you could tell he thought that would work. Or
that he thought Kate begging would work.
So do you think he was thinking that, or do you think he was playing the long game, assuming that something was going to happen and Jack was going to find Sawyer and Kate?
If you go on knowing what happens later in the story, then I think he's setting up a rivalry, an already existing rivalry. He's playing on the rivalry, I guess, of Jack and Sawyer using Kate as like a pawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this brings us back to flashback number 4, where we still have a 60s housewife, Kate, walking down the grocery aisle in a sleeveless yellow blouse with her hair tied back like a proper suburban wife.
Yes, that's exactly what she looks like. She looks like she stepped right out of a sitcom from the 60s.
Yeah, it's like Mary Tyler Moore or something. Was that 50s or... I don't know when that was.
They sleep
that was
in
before my
beds.
time. Exactly. Her cell phone rings, and it's Kevin calling from his police car. They chat about taco night, and everything seems very...
Taco night.
Taco night, yeah.
Yeah, her taco.
Here we go. Sloppy taco.
Yep.
Oh, God.
They say they love each
tacos
other.
for dinner tonight.
Oh, lucky Caleb.
They say they love each other, and then the scene jumps to Kate out in the rain without an umbrella. She goes to a phone booth and dials a number and takes a timer out of her bag and sets it.
I haven't seen a phone booth in a really long
Payphone
time.
and everything.
I know. Yeah.
On the other end of the
Not
line,
a thing anymore.
Nope.
we saw some in London.
We did, but I think that they are there.
It's still
I
the
mean, I
red
guess
booths.
they're working
Yeah.
or something, but yeah, they're because
No,
it's
they're
like a
called
historical.
booms there.
Oh, red boons.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're there for tourists.
On the other end of the line, phone rings, and it's the marshal.
Oh.
Fuck this guy.
He answers
Yep.
the phone. Kate says, "It's me," and he signals to somebody in the room to
Does she
start
say
running
it
a
like
trace.
that? It's me.
It's a me.
It's a me.
Check it in.
It's a Monica.
I'm going to win.
And he says something about it's been a long time. It's been some sort of holy holiday or some crap. I can't remember exactly what he says, but he says it's been a really, really long time since I'd heard from you. And Kate tells him that she doesn't want to run anymore. The marshal sees right through this and just asks, "What's his name? Does he know who you are?" And Kate calls him Edward and asks him to let her go because she really loves this guy.
Oh, well, then I guess the murder you committed is
Sure.
not a big deal anymore.
Right.
Sure.
Because you're in love.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
bless your
okay.
heart. So the marshal says, "I'll tell you what, if you can really stay put, you can really settle down, then I'll stop chasing you." Kate doesn't say anything. The marshal continues, "But you and I both know that's not going to happen."
Yep.
Just then the timer goes off. She hangs up the phone. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's got her pegged, obviously.
Yeah.
But
He's been
I mean,
chasing her for a
is she
couple
really
years
going
at
to
this
believe
point.
him?
I
No,
think-
she's not going to settle down either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the
Yeah.
creature of Kate. Well, obviously,
Yeah.
we know later what triggers her into, like, kind of shakes her out of her little 60s housewife bubble.
Yeah. But she's
yeah.
a runner.
Yeah.
So Juliet, we're back to the future or back to the present, as it were. Juliet takes Kate back to her cage, which they still have not addressed the fact that she can get out of that cage at any point, which I think is a little odd.
No, it
when
just
she-
means that Ben thinks it's an advantage to allow her to do that at this point.
Sure, I guess that's
He's
true.
not taking that away because, I mean, he uses the image of her in there with Sawyer against Jack later.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
clearly letting her do that was advantageous to him eventually.
yep. When they take Kate's hood off, Kate can see that Sawyer is gone. And Juliet asks Kate, "You really care about him, huh?" "I'm sorry you weren't able to help us today, Kate." So then Danny leads Sawyer to his cage at gunpoint, and hits him over the back of the head with the butt of the gun, and then pushes him into the cage. And then he tells Sawyer if there's anything he wants to say to Kate, he better do it tonight.
Dun, dun, dun.
Whoa.
The others exit, and Sawyer stands up, looks at Kate, and says, "And how was your day, honey?"
Also, I mean, with this, like, if you want to assume that Danny is taking direction from Ben, just setting this idea up that he's going to die and knowing that Kate can get out of the cage, like, he's just putting all of the pieces together to get her to crawl in there and
Yeah,
fuck him
absolutely.
and get caught on camera so he can use it against Jack.
Yep.
Yeah.
Back on the big island, Locke, Desmond, Saeed, Nikki, and Paolo all stand over Echo's grave. A ray of sunshine beams down upon them. It's a very, very well shot scene, other
Yeah,
than the fact that
beautiful.
it involves Nikki and Paolo. Locke says, "When the hatch exploded, your prayer stick fell out of a tree right on top of me."
Your prayer stick
Prayer
fell out of
stick.
the tree right on
Jesus
top
stick.
of me.
So Saeed and I came out to get it because it didn't seem right to bury you without it. I'd like to think you died for a reason, Mr. Echo. I just hope that it's not too long before we figure out what the heck it might be. Everyone is silent, and Locke bangs on the grave with a Jesus stick and finishes by saying, "Rest in peace, Mr. Echo. Thank you for helping me find my..." Doesn't finish his sentence, but he looks down at the stick and he notices a carved line on Echo's stick. It says, "Lift up your eyes and look north, John." Locke looks
which we talked about a couple
memorized.
episodes ago.
Yeah, it was the one that said John 3:16.
Christy noticed.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you think what do you think Locke was actually saying there? He says, "Helping me find my," and he never finishes.
Faith
What do you think
again.
he was?
Faith. Yeah.
Faith.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be the end of that sentence, which is then just personified by him looking down and seeing a message just for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now that message means something. If several episodes ago he may have ignored it.
So Kate and Sawyer are back in their respective cages. She tells him that she saw Jack and they want him to do surgery on Ben, to which Sawyer says, "Who the hell is Ben?" And she responds that it was Henry Gale. She explains the situation, and Sawyer basically says, "Well, I'm happy the dog ain't dumb enough to do the surgery." She tells Sawyer that she told Jack to save Ben's life. This pisses Sawyer off, and he says, "Why would you do something so stupid?" And she basically says that she's doing it because she wants to save his life. This pisses Sawyer off, who says his life doesn't need saving, but Kate, who will not listen, climbs out of her cage again, bashes the lock on Sawyer's cage with a rock. So I guess Ben put a shitty lock there that could be broken with a rock as well.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
This guy thinks of fucking everything.
Yep.
And then
Well,
she tells
he does, though. That's the thing, right? I mean, that's why he's the ultimate villain so far, is because he is just one step ahead of everybody always.
it's like when they're setting things up, they're like, "Oh, grab a lock for the cage." No, not that one. Yeah, the one you can break with a rock. Yep, that's
dummy
right. Grab that
You
one.
can break with a rock.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't
That's
Carl do that in the first episode too?
I think so. Locks
breaks it
in these
with a
episodes
rock.
are just like you shoot a lock or you hit it with a rock, and it just doesn't work anymore.
Ben's
Yeah.
got like this whole collection of like dummy locks.
Dummy locks. Yeah. So Kate tells Sawyer to run. Sawyer then tells her the truth about Hydra Island, how they're not on their island, and their island is about 2 miles away. And he tells her that he kept that a secret so that she would think that they had a chance. Kate starts crying and starts to kiss Sawyer. And he asks what that was for. She says she doesn't know. And then they kiss again. And then Sawyer pins her up against the bars and they start tearing each other's clothes off. At which point I notice, for being in a cage for a long time, she has very, very well-shaved armpits.
I mean, not
That's
just
true, yeah.
Well, hold on though. She took a shower probably the day before, right? Or 2 days before, at least, before she went out to the beach to have that creepy breakfast with Ben
You think they
Lyman.
gave her a
yes.
razor and everything?
So I think they gave her a raise. So that actually might work.
Yeah, I think they know how resourceful she is. They probably wouldn't have given her any sort of razor.
Right.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, he left her alone in the shower. He probably wouldn't give her a razor blade. Yeah,
They're like, here you go. Here's an epilady. Have fun.
But the thing about Sawyer not telling her the truth, because he wanted her to think that they had a chance. It's like they said in the first season, hope is a dangerous thing to lose. So,
Right. Yeah.
True that.
Yeah. For sure.
So we come to flashback number 4, and Kate's, again, looking 1950s, 60s housewife, making breakfast for her husband before he goes to
Yeah,
work.
in like an apron.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, who fucking makes
they're
breakfast?
laying it on so thick.
I know. Like,
At
is
this point.
that the life of like a cop wife? Is that what you do? Is you get up every morning, put your apron on, and fix your hubby breakest? Like, get the fuck out of here.
Exactly. Bring him the newspaper and his sandals and light a cigarette for him. And then saying, okay, you can beat me now.
Wow. That took a dark turn.
They've got the gender roles down.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So she makes some French toast with a whipped cream smiley face. Again, they're laying it on so thick. It went from cute to now it's just sort of like annoyingly sugary. Like, holy crap.
Put a smiley face on your French toast.
What was that you said, Lacy?
I wonder if something's going to go wrong.
So he tells her to look under the placemat, and she finds oceanic plane tickets to Costa Rica. And he says that they're basically finally going to get to go on their honeymoon after 6 months.
So at this point, they've been married for 6 months. They haven't even known each other a year, I guess, is what we're assuming.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yep.
He says, "You got your passport ready, baby?" And she gets sort of she gets this sort of like worried look on her face, and he asks her, "What's up?" And she says, "Oh, I just love you so much."
Uh-huh. That's it.
And next thing you see him like outside in his Miami-Dade police car, and Kate standing in the doorway waving goodbye.
Oh,
back on the island,
her apron.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the thing, right? Like after the breakfast and the smiley face, then you need to stand in the doorway and wave bye. Oh,
yeah.
Fuck.
As her friends show up for a Tupperware party.
Oh.
Yep.
Back in the cage, Kate and Sawyer are cuddling post-coitus. We're assuming it's post-coitus anyway. He says, "Let me ask you something, Freckles. When Blockhead was beating on me, you said I love you." That was just to get him to stop,
Blockhead.
Right?
Yeah.
Sorry. I can't. Ben, you can continue.
When Blockhead was beating on me, and you said I love you, that was just to get him to stop, right?
Right.
Kate says nothing, kisses Sawyer, then lays her head down on his chest, and he says, "I love you too."
Aww.
I always loved this scene. They're both being so vulnerable finally.
Yeah, which is not what you see from these two characters normally.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Jack is asleep on the table again. Notice
Without a blanket.
No blanket.
No pillow.
Without a blanket.
Yeah. Exactly. When the intercom starts crackling, he wakes up, walks over to it, and says hello. And you hear a female voice that says, "Try the door."
Mm-hmm.
So Jack goes to the door of his room, whatever, pushes the lever, and it opens. He walks out into the hallway, looks around, and he sees that the surveillance room with all the TV monitors is open. He goes in there and he finds a closet full of guns and takes, it looked like a Luger. He grabbed a pistol, which I thought was kind of odd. He'd probably want to be packing a rifle at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey. And then his focus goes back to the screens where he can see Sawyer and Kate holding each other. Obviously, they've got... Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. They got a camera on that one.
Think about the risk, though. Think about the risk that Ben is taking here. He is so fucking confident that this is the thing that is going to push Jack over the edge that he leaves him access to fucking guns. He walks in, Jack is holding a gun, but he's like, okay, I know how to get you. If Kate fucks Sawyer and you have to see the after effects, you are going to do something that I want you to do. Yeah, you're going to get mad enough to be like,
You should have let him see it while they were still getting it on.
Oh God, I don't know. That might have broke him though. That's the thing is like, I think
he's a master manipulator.
Yeah. Like Ben just wanted him mad enough that he felt like he had something to negotiate with. Like, okay, I'll do the surgery, but you give me this. And like, he's driving him toward that. I think had he just seen them fucking, that might have broke him. I don't know.
He would just put the gun to his own head right then.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something that shows like Jack's emotional intelligence is not very high. Like he's really sort of stunted.
Yeah, well, he was raised by a completely unavailable alcoholic narcissistic father who gave him no guidance or anything. We don't know much about Jack's mom, I guess, but it's not surprising that he's stunted emotionally. Who the hell taught him to have any emotions? Or how to handle them, I should say. Yeah.
That's true. So Jack is sitting there watching it, sort of fixating, and you can see, again, I like the acting here because no words, and you can just see the sort of confusion and hurt in his face.
Yeah.
And this is where Ben walks up behind him and says, "If it helps, I was surprised too." Jack swings around, points the gun at Ben's face, And Ben continues, if I were a betting man, I would have picked her and you.
Ooh, he just has to just rub it in, doesn't he?
Yeah. Then, still at gunpoint, Jack tells Ben he'll do the surgery tomorrow morning, saying,
What?
I'll get it out, your tumor, and I'll keep you alive. But I need your word. I need what you promised me before. I need to get the hell off this island. To which Ben replies simply, done.
Done.
And we go to Sawyer and Kate, still in the cage, asleep in each other's arms. And then that whooshes us into flashback number 5, where Kate is standing in the bathroom, looking in the mirror. She looks like she's been crying, and she's holding a pregnancy test, which says negative. It doesn't actually say negative. It shows negative.
Just says
you
one
imagine
line.
that it's like negative.
Yeah.
No baby for you.
Negative, you
one
are not
line.
pregnant.
They do say not pregnant.
Yeah,
Some of them,
yeah.
actually. The digital ones will actually say that, not
Oh,
pregnant.
digital ones now? Wow.
Oh, yeah.
The digital readouts, yeah.
So she starts crying and sits down. Then we go to another room in the house where Kevin is sitting at his desk working on a computer. When Kate
So this
comes
is the
in
moment, though, right? Like, it fucking hits her where she's like, wait a second. I'm a fugitive. I murdered my father in cold blood. I've been running from the law for like 2 years. I've married a cop,
Yeah.
but...
And I'm living in Miami-Dade.
Yeah.
Life
And wearing
choices.
an
But
apron. Yeah.
the thought of like bringing a defenseless child, an autonomous human into the world in these conditions, that finally gets her. And
I think
like,
it's
wait
either
a
that or
second.
just you're not nearly as light on your feet when you're carrying 50 extra pounds or 60 extra pounds or whatever it would be. It's hard to run from the cops when you're 8 months pregnant.
Yep.
Yeah.
So she walks up to Kevin with a couple glasses of lemonade. She asks him what he's doing, and he complains about
the camera focuses right on the lemonade for a millisecond. So any keen watcher is like, uh-oh,
Yep.
With the lemonade.
something's important about that lemonade. This is
I
not
don't
going to
think
go
it's
well.
country time.
He complains about the endless paperwork of being a cop, and he mentions a fugitive case in Tampa. Was that hers? Was she from Tampa? I can't remember where she actually came from.
No, well, her mom she's from Iowa or something like that.
That's
I
right.
think.
That's right.
Yeah.
She's Midwest. That's right.
Yeah.
And Kate says, well, what if I told you I was a fugitive? What if I told you I was on the run for blowing up my father and it was only a matter of time before you found out?
I'd be like, girl, what?
Kevin says he didn't really think that was funny, and Kate begins to cry and continues, it's not a joke. I almost had a baby, Kevin. Me, a baby. I can't do this. Taco night?
Almost had a baby.
Yeah, seriously.
I don't do
Well,
taco
I think
night.
what she means is she thought for a hot minute that she could be pregnant and went like,
Right.
oh, fuck, this is crazy. What am I doing? Yeah.
Taco.
I wish Kevin right then would have said, like, well, taco night was your idea. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't actually
but
say I
we
like
can-
tacos.
yeah, we can do fajita Fridays. We can mix it up, babe. We don't have to always do Taco Tuesday if it's not you. Come on. He asks her to calm down.
Which
and he
no
says-
woman has ever calmed down in the history of being told to calm down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that always
shut
works.
Yeah.
Relax. Just relax. Yeah, that always works so
Shit,
well.
I've been
Okay,
doing it
suddenly
all
I feel
wrong.
so much better.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit, I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
And Kate says at this point, my name isn't Monica. And that she loves him, but that she can't stay. He gets up and tries to follow her, but he ends up being a bit woozy. And he says something
Okay,
like,
by the way, what the fuck drug is she
dude, that
using?
shit could
That
fast,
fast,
man.
He took half a sip of lemonade and he
And
can't
he's done.
stand up at like 30 seconds later.
That's some super powerful shit.
Imagine if he was like, oh, thanks, baby. I'm parched. He just chugs the whole
Chugged it.
thing.
Yeah, I mean, she would have killed him.
Cardiac
Obviously,
arrest right there.
whatever dose she put in there was meant for a sip.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
She's got him figured out.
Yep.
She tells him she's drugged him so that nobody would think that he knew, so that he wouldn't lose his job. So he falls
it is
over
kind
on
of
it.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? You're a cop and you marry
She
him.
didn't background check him, or he didn't background check her.
I mean, he's not like
Yeah.
a fucking. It's not like he's an investigator, though. I mean,
He's
he's
just
a
a beat
beat
cop,
cop. So
Well, if he's a beat cop, why the hell is he working on the fugitive case from Tampa?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe he's in school to go into go into CI or something like that. I don't know.
Fugitive school. Fugitive catching school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants to be murder police. He falls over unconscious. She takes a locket that his mother gave her and places it in his hand.
I mean, at least she gave that back. That's nice.
It's true. Crying, she kisses him and then leaves.
Wasn't joyfully this time.
Not joyfully. No.
No joyful kissing here.
No. Back on the island, Jack and Juliet are in gowns and masks, scrubbing in, getting ready for surgery. Jack tells her that the surgery will be tricky and that she can't question him when he tells her to do something.
Bam.
She says, believe it or not, I'm actually really good at following orders. And he straight up says, like, just say yes. Like, just say that you're going to do it.
Oh, yeah, he gets annoyed. Like, I don't need your commentary. Just, yeah.
You could tell he's sort of done with it all right now. He's like, I'm getting this surgery done and I'm fucking out of here.
Yep.
I love how
surgeon mode.
Yeah, I love how earlier, too, he asks her, I think it's a couple scenes ago, something about when he's getting ready to do the surgery, like, oh, is your OR complete and prepped and stuff? And like, hi, do you remember like 2 days ago there was no crash cart?
I know.
No.
Better hope his heart
the
doesn't
OR's
stop.
not good.
No. So, yeah, they enter the OR where there's a couple others standing there, and Ben is lying face down, prepped for surgery. Ben asks Jack if he still gets nervous before surgery, and Jack says not anymore. Ben wants to know if Alex asked about him. Juliet says, nope.
What?
They took her back home last night, and she doesn't know where she is now.
Mm-hmm.
Ben replies, well, see you on the other side. I'm ready.
See you on the other side.
And then Jack has Ben count backwards from 20 as the anesthesia begins. He gets to about 18, and he's out.
That's the truth, too.
Yeah,
it works fast.
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
Oh, my God, yeah.
They're like,
I did 100. I think I got to 98. That was it.
Yeah.
I remember the first time that I went into surgery, and I was like really kind of excited to see what this is like. Is it like Hollywood, and do you really pass out that fast?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being amazed that they were like, okay, Lacy, we're gonna let you go to sleep now. Do you want to start counting? And I was like, okay, 100. And then I was awake.
Then you're done.
I know.
Oh my God.
There's no dreaming. No, it's not like sleep. It's like instant.
Yeah.
I wake up 5 hours later in a cold room.
Yeah, that is the weirdest fucking feeling. And obviously, this conversation is hilarious too, since what happens later with Ben and his anesthesia.
Oh my God! Yes, I know.
Yeah. But we'll get to that. But I love how there's no anesthesiologist or anything. It's just Jack
but the
Juliet.
OR is stocked. The OR is ready to go.
They have no crash cart, but somehow they have all the drugs that they need for anesthesia.
Yeah, exactly. Where did they get this? I guess maybe the drop from the plane. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways.
So he asks Juliet for a scalpel, and they get to work. Right when that happens up in the observation area, Danny says, let's go. Starts walking away. He's pissed, and he says Ben just put his life in the hands of one of them. And Shepard wasn't even on Jacob's list.
What?
Who's Jacob?
Oh, what does that mean, Derek? What is that? Who's Jacob, Derek?
What?
You guys are making some strange noises.
Yeah.
So now it's
super excited about that.
I know. It's raining at the cages.
Jacob is like a huge integral part of the show, and this is like the first we're hearing of him. It's awesome.
Back at the cages, it's raining. And Kate sees Dad Pants Danny, whatever he is.
Dead pants, Danny.
Dead Pants Danny.
Dead dad pants.
Dead Dad Pants Danny? Oh my goodness.
She tries to wake Sawyer.
You know, when I first saw you put that in the spreadsheet, I thought it did say dead pants. I had to look at it twice.
Now, he is officially called Dad Pants Danny in all of our Lost in My 40s spreadsheet trackers. He has earned that title. So
Danny sees her and tells her that she should have run when she got out of her cage. He tells her that Sawyer is going with him and that there isn't anything she can do about it. Back in the OR, Jack is giving orders to Juliet. Suddenly, Jack makes a deliberate incision that causes the EKG to start beeping faster.
Whoa.
Ivan, one of the others, says his blood pressure is dropping and asks if he should be bleeding like that. Jack casually says,
Ivan,
nope.
I don't know. What do you think happens when you bleed like
Dr.
that?
Ivan.
Jesus.
Jack casually says, nope, he shouldn't, before elbowing Ivan in the face and demanding Juliet back away from the table. He just owns these dickheads.
Get out of here, too fucking stupid to even be here.
Seriously,
Fuck
go
outta here.
away, Ivan.
Yeah. Should he be bleeding like that?
Yeah.
Ivan the
Yes,
unbearable.
Ivan, it's all part of the process.
Yes.
Tom is watching all this from the observation deck. Jack asks if Tom can hear him and then says, good. I just made a small incision in Ben's kidney sac. Now, if I don't stitch this in his sack. Now, if I don't stitch that back up in an hour, he's dead. Now get in here and bring that walkie-talkie.
And he knew it was exactly an hour.
Yeah,
Yep.
First of all, Jack.
Set an egg timer.
Do they teach you that in surgery school? You know, if you cut the kidney sac, you give it an hour.
Exactly.
Okay, so first of all, Jack is being a badass, and I love it.
Yeah.
But this is so fucking ridiculous to even think that you could just be like, oh, I'm just going to nick this here and start the timer. You got an hour
exactly.
to live. Like, it's
I
just
know.
so
That's when I
fucking
saw that. I'm
stupid.
like, what? Not 59 minutes, not an hour and 1 minute. It's exactly an hour. Wow.
Nope. Back to the exact moment in the cages where Danny tells Kate to step away. Sawyer throws a punch and manages to get Danny's gun.
Yes.
He points it at Danny and then realizes that Jason, one of the others, has Kate.
Fuck.
She tells Sawyer, don't give up, keep fighting. Sawyer gives in to save her, and Danny tells him to get on his knees.
This is
this
quite
point-
a fucking scene.
This
Oh,
scene
man.
was
Yeah,
hard.
it is.
Because I didn't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. You didn't really know if like he was actually going to kill
Right.
Sawyer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
So-
hard. It's even when you know, it's still hard to watch it. It's an incredible scene.
Yes.
So the rain's coming down even harder now, and Kate is screaming, saying that she'll do anything Danny says. And he just says, I want you to watch.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yo.
And Sawyer
Dad
says,
pants.
close your eyes,
Calm
Freckles.
the fuck down. Like, why
Brutal.
is he so angry?
Because he thinks Sawyer had nothing to do with Colleen's death.
He
But
doesn't.
he just
didn't,
wants to kill one of them.
and neither did Kate. Yeah, he's just like focusing his vengeance, I guess,
Yeah.
in that way. Yeah. Anyways, that's some brutal
Yeah.
shit, Danny. Jesus.
So Danny holds the gun sort of execution style behind Sawyer's head and says, this is for Colleen, you son of a
Son
bitch.
of a bitch.
Suddenly, Tom's voice comes over the walkie-talkie. It's funny here that Danny, like, he's like, okay, let me pick up the walkie-talkie first. I could just shoot him and then pick it up. But instead, he decides
Sawyer
to
also said,
prioritize.
which was hard, was close your eyes, Freckles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did say
Yeah.
close your
Like,
eyes,
wow.
Freckles. Yeah, that. Oh, I just got goosebumps even thinking about that. I think what this shows, Ben, when you talk about, I mean, it looks sort of stupid. Okay, he's about to kill this guy, but now I got to answer the walkie-talkie. But I think it really shows like how serious
The power structure.
Yes.
exactly. That
This
like
rage mode to, let me check this walkie-talkie.
yes, because obviously, like they have been worked into this situation. Something is making them all behave in this
Right.
hierarchical like
Yeah.
command, right? And so I think that is something to pay attention to in that moment. But yeah, Derek, the close your eyes, Freckles fucking killed me.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Tom's voice comes in over the walkie-talkie. He tells Danny to give the walkie-talkie to Kate, or Jack will let Ben die.
Whoa.
Danny gives in, hands it over. Jack tells Kate she has about an hour start before they come for her. He asks her if she remembers the story that he told her the day of the crash while she was stitching him up. She's crying, and she tells him, yes. When you get safe, you radio me, and you tell me that story. Kate says she can't run without him, and they go back and forth a minute before Jack screams, Kate, damn it, run.
Yeah, listen, Kate, run.
And that's the end of the
intense.
episode.
Yes.
That's intense. There's so much going on there, and the way that he screams it and everything, and you want to be like, yeah, run. And you're like, oh my God, he doesn't know. There's nowhere to go.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
He's
Yep.
just nicked the kidney sack for nothing.
Yeah, that last scene was really intense.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Did you like it? Did you like this
Yes.
episode, Derek? I mean, we'll
I
get
did.
obviously to more of that in a minute, but yeah, I thought it was.
But like I
intense.
said, I mean, I didn't know if Sawyer was going to actually be killed.
Right. Yeah, I forget what that must be like the first time around, not knowing that. Did you get dust in your eye when he survived?
A little bit.
Yeah.
That whole thing, even the exchange with Jack and Kate, was just crazy.
All of it,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super intense. Fun facts today, guys. We are going to talk about the FBI's most wanted list.
Ah.
All right.
I would like some excitement.
All right.
Yes! Fugitives!
I really need to get that applause track. I'm going to do it. Okay.
Is
So,
Gilgamesh on the top list?
No,
Oh,
there's
God. No.
I mean, honestly, y'all are never going to. I'm going to have to get a t-shirt that just says, like, I'm sorry about the Epic of Gilgamesh. I apologize for ever having done that. Okay. So the FBI's most wanted list originated in 1949. It's relatively young. And the story of how it came about is actually, I think, interesting. So a journalist was playing a card game with FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover and was quizzing him about, like, the worst criminals out there. So after the card game, this journalist publishes in a newspaper, I guess, or some sort of periodical, what Hoover had told him about these criminals. And it was like an informal list of the worst criminals out there. And what happened was it was really, really popular amongst the people, I guess you could say. And Hoover noticed this and basically officially sanctioned a FBI top 10 list of wanted criminals. And that was how it happened. And it's been that way ever since. So the first name officially released on the FBI list was on March 14th, 1950. His name was Thomas Holden. He had murdered his wife and two of her relatives. He was later arrested after a newspaper reader in Oregon recognized his photo from the FBI Most Wanted list and alerted authorities. So,
wow.
Yeah,
There
it worked.
you go.
So criminals on the list are fugitives with a long history of disobeying the law. They have serious charges of very serious nature. These aren't your run-of-the-mill criminals. And the most important thing that gets you onto the list is that you are believed to pose a considerable threat to the public at large. And that is how you end up on this list. All 56 FBI field offices around the United States are tasked with submitting names for this list. So they say the worst of the worst in our area are such and such, and then it goes to the headquarters, and they make that decision. So as of 2020, which was the last stats that I could find, the FBI had a total of 523 criminals who had once been on the list. The Bureau says that 488 of those were captured after being put on the most wanted list.
Wow.
Of those 486, 162 were directly apprehended based on information shared by a tip coming in because of one of the posters. So they do work. It does show that, like, it looks like they're going to get you anyway, but that it does help catch criminals, this list.
I gotta imagine
ahead.
today, like the ability for a criminal to stay like off the grid now has got to be so much more difficult with like cameras, facial recognition software, just the amount of computing power that they can that agencies or things can do, and the amount of information gathering. Like, you've got, like, at this point, you literally, I feel like you'd have to get like a new face to be able to do that. Like, it's just,
which I think some people tried to do that with plastic surgery. Yeah. There's one of the most clear, like, demarcation lines of the advancements in science and also like technology is when you look at like the 1970s. Those are the last real, like, prolific serial killers that you hear about. And it's not that they're not out there, but that because of things like DNA, their crimes are very quickly connected, and then they're caught before being able to like go on for 20 years, leaving your DNA all over the place and having nothing.
Unless you have inept cops like with Jeffrey Dahmer.
Well,
True.
yes, that is true.
Yeah, that makes sense. The second you get that stuff into databases that are connecting via, via the World Wide Web or whatever, the second that happens, you all of a sudden have the ability to put things together in ways that they couldn't before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, a couple more facts about the list. Who spent the longest time on the list? His name is Victor Manuel Guerrena. He was on the list from 1983 to 2016. In 1983, he worked as an armored truck escort when he stole $7 million from a Wells Fargo truck. He tied up his coworkers, injected them with a mixture of aspirin and water to make them sleepy, and then up and fucking disappeared with $7 million in a truck. Turned out
he didn't kill anybody, and he just stole $7 million, huh?
Yep. So turns out that Guerrena was actually a pawn in a larger robbery scheme, which involved the Puerto Rican separatist group. In total, 19 men associated with the heist were either caught or killed. This man, however, remains at large. The FBI did not specify why he was removed from the list in 2016, but typically what happens, like we talked about before, is if you are no longer considered a public threat, you're not going to be on the list. So this guy has been at large for so long with his $7 million that he's no longer important enough and a danger enough.
He got away with it.
Wow.
Yeah, he got away with it.
Probably kicking it in Venezuela or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So not that they wouldn't arrest him anyways, but yes, he got away with it.
Wow.
Okay, so that is the FBI most wanted list.
I'm looking at it right now. There's a woman on it that defrauded people out of billions of dollars with Bitcoin stuff.
Yeah. So I do. I have the whole list of people here, the top 10 list, but I just thought it would go on too long if I read them all. But yeah, she is the only female on the list at this point. And it's really interesting because if you go through the list of crimes for the men who are on the list, they're all like violent crimes or pedophilia, child pornography rings. But the woman who's on the list is on there for financial crimes and fraud, and which I found interesting that it was had nothing to do with being violent.
You get $100,000 if they get captured. Wow.
Yeah, go to the FBI. It's a government list. It's published there. It gives you all the gruesome details of their crimes. Some of them are pretty awful. But yeah, it also gives you like information on how to submit a tip and get your reward. Christy, what are your best and worst moments this week?
I loved when Sawyer said, "I love you" to Kate. And then the worst moment for me was when Sawyer thought he was going to die and he tells Kate to close her eyes.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
Tough. Yeah.
For me, the best moment was the way Kate and Jack looked at each other through that glass when they first saw each other. I thought that was really sweet. And then the worst moment was Jack's face when he saw Kate and Sawyer together and realized, like, oh, she didn't pick me. Derek, how about you?
The best moment was, Sawyer and Kate getting on in the afterglow moments, the whole exchange.
The pre-sex scene was pretty hot. It lasted a good 25 seconds, probably. Yeah, sexiness.
It's long enough for me.
Oh my God.
What? And the worst moment was, when Dad Pants Danny was going to execute Sawyer.
Okay.
And just that, he thought he was going to die, and he goes, "Close your eyes, Freckles."
Yeah. Benjamin, what about you?
My favorite scene was when Jack was watching them, whatever, Kate and Sawyer cuddle or whatever, and he's got the gun, and then Ben comes in, and he's got Ben at gunpoint, but then he says, "I'm going to do the surgery." I like that scene, was just that kind of switcheroo I thought was really, really great.
Well, when Jack first learned about the tumor on Ben, Ben was like, "I want you to want to save my life." So he got that.
He got that.
And again, it just shows you it like we talked about earlier with the whole I'm about to kill this guy, but now I have to get on this walkie-talkie. Like it shows you the power that Ben has over these people. And in this scene as well, like even though Jack has the literal power in his hand, he's still doing what Ben wants him to do. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. My least favorite scene was basically the same, the one where Danny's about to execute Sawyer, and he says, "Shut your eyes, Freckles," or whatever. That's pretty rough.
Yeah. Keep going, Ben. What are your character rankings this week, and who are you fucking and killing?
I've got basically top 3 characters. This is possibly the first time this has ever happened. I've got Jack in first, Sawyer in second, Kate in third.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's very season 1 of you.
It's very season 1 of me. It's like it's like episode 1, season 1 sort of rankings. Yeah. My least favorite. I only have one least favorite, and it's Deadpants Danny.
Is he Deadpants now?
Deadpants?
I'm calling him Deadpants Danny. That's what I'm going to call him.
Okay, he's Deadpants now.
I'm also going to kill Deadpants Danny because dude needs to go, and I'm gonna fuck Alex.
Oh.
Alex? I mean, she's like a teenager.
Hey, we're on an island. I'm assuming she's 18 at least. So,
Yeah.
she's cute.
She said she was 18.
Yeah, she is gorgeous. If you look at pictures of her now, like 20 years later, she's stunning as well. All right. So, Christy, how about you? Are you having sex with any teenagers this week?
And no, my top 3 are Sawyer, Jack, and Kate. And in the bottom, I have Deadpants Danny and the Marshal. I am going to fuck Captain Malcolm Reynolds. I'm going to kill Danny because I hate that fucking asshole.
Fuck, Danny's going to drop off a cliff.
I would have picked Kate to fuck this week, but she already had so many dudes slung up in her this week. I'm just like, I don't feel like I wanted
so many. Sawyer
so
is so many.
Just being Sawyer
and Kevin. Come on, let's go. I don't want to follow those
acts. Okay. We're counting Kevin. Yeah. Okay.
If I could get to her first, but
okay. So what I'm hearing you say is, if Kate is too busy to have sex, then you're going to boink a teenager.
Well, no. So the actress is 34. The actress is 34 years old right now, so she was definitely 18 in 2006.
Okay, well, there you go. Derek has done the math. You are not a pedophile.
Yay.
Derek. Keep going
best
over there.
is
what are your
Sawyer.
ratings? Okay.
I like Sawyer was good in this episode, and my second was Benjamin Linus.
Oh, look at you!
I know. I've turned. I just like him. This is manipulation. How he even got Jack.
Yeah.
He was dead set on not doing the surgery. He's like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I got Jack as third. And then worst, of course, is Deadpants Danny. And I threw the Marshal in there as second worst because he's just still an asshole.
Yeah.
doing his job, being an asshole.
Yeah. I'm going to fuck Kate. I'll be the third in line.
Oh, my God.
Behind Kevin and Sawyer. And I'm going to kill Deadpants Danny. He's got to go.
He's got to go. I had Jack as number 1 this week because, like, what the fuck are you? That's some ballsy shit, Jack. All right.
Yeah.
Cutting that kidney sack.
Yeah. I had Ben Linus as number 2 because even with a nicked sack, he's still winning.
Yep.
And I had Sawyer as my third because he was vulnerable and he said, I love you. And that's like a really big step for him, Sawyer. Worst character, Deadpants Danny. He's totally out of control. What the fuck is your problem, Danny? I didn't have anyone else in the worst characters. I also fucked Captain Malcolm Reynolds and the entire crew of the Serenity.
Oh.
I do that. Yeah.
I'm just gonna fuck another cast. Seriously, go watch Firefly. It's a hot cast.
Yeah, they're all hot. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not killing anyone this week. I'm too happy for Sawyer and Kate, and so I'm just not in a murderous place right now.
Oh,
Ben, update us. What's it look like after this week?
Sawyer extends his lead in first place with 58 points. Juliet still in second place with 37. Kate has edged Mr. Echo out of the top 3 with 30 points.
Well, that was quick.
Yep.
Yeah. One episode, he's done.
Bye, Echo.
He's not even barely in the ground.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Let's see. Paolo has given up the bottom spot to Deadpants Danny with negative 57 points.
Oh.
I'm okay with that for now.
Yeah. Paolo has dropped into second place with negative 47. Jack's time in the bottom 3 was short, and he has been replaced by Mr. P with negative 16.
Okay.
All right.
So I kind of love that Deadpants Danny is running around acting like a complete fucking psychopath, and Paolo just hits some golf balls.
He's gone to the bathroom.
Takes a dump and like.
And yet they're like less than 10 points apart.
I know.
From each other.
He's just got such a punchable face. Like, he's just
does.
something patently unlikable about him.
Yep.
Like you over here putting guns to people's heads. You are in the bottom, and you over here hitting those golf balls. Just you're a douche. You're in the bottom.
Yep.
All right. Wow.
It would have been. I almost feel like it would have been a something really fun to put in the episode if, like, when he came out, when Paolo came out of the bathroom, Locke was just like, Jesus Christ, man, that fucking stinks. Just shot him right there.
Shot him.
Yeah.
Just shot him. That is not acceptable.
Stinks.
That is not acceptable.
Wow. No, I think his death is better than that. But we'll get there. All right.
Christy's excited about it.
Uh-huh. Christy, what were your final impressions this week?
I mean, I think I got choked up about 4 or 5 times. It was, definitely a good episode. It was good at tugging at the heartstrings. I liked it a lot.
Okay. Ben, how about you?
I'd like to see Nathan Fillion in here. He's Captain Mal. The whole housewife thing I think was a little overcooked, but I understand why they were doing it. They set up this very kind of sweet sort of ideal sort of setting for her to eventually flee from. So
they were like giving us visually the sort of bubble that she's been living in, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Again, a bit heavy-handed, but still, I understand why they did it. They didn't have a whole lot of time to set up that sort of fantasy world. So,
right.
Their scenes together were really sweet, and that was good. I thought they sort of, echoed that with her and Sawyer in real life. So, their scenes were also very kind of emotionally charged, very sweet. And you really see Jack at this point. You see his resolve and what kind of a monster he can be when he really, really sets his mind to something, both good and a bad way. So I thought his interactions with Ben, his decision making throughout the episode, although, it's sort of just like, well, I can't have the girl, therefore I'm going to leave the island. It's a little petulant, but at the same time, I was going to have sex with an 18-year-old girl because there were 2 guys up in Kate. So I totally get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I get it. No, I thought it was. I actually remember when I was watching the episode, I was thinking, I don't really like this episode. But then when I watched it a second time, I was like, oh, okay, no, this is actually really good. It's a good episode, and I think it's building towards something that.
Yeah,
it's gonna be really awesome.
I thought it was another silly Kate backstory. They always are kind of a little bit like, okay. It was nice to see Nathan Fillion. Love him always. However, on the island, like the stuff that was happening real time is, oh my God, like finally some decent shit is happening on the
Pieces
island,
are falling
right?
into place. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Like the watching, Ben manipulate this whole situation, watching Jack just like totally fucking explode into some ballsy ass shit. I mean, ridiculous shit.
Sack.
But, right. I'm loving it.
Sack
And
is
it's
exploding.
after it kind of like it's a rocky sort of beginning to season 3. Like I think this episode really kickstarts
agreed.
my interest again, I guess. So
Yeah.
let's see how Derek, how did you feel about this episode? And did it give you any questions?
I liked it, yes, because like I said in the beginning of season 3, I heard it wasn't the best season, and this is actually a really good episode. Start moving along, get the surgery going. I like how Ben is manipulating everybody, but then Jack, he got the upper hand with the sack. And Kate and Sawyer finally get it on. And, that it was very intense, like I said, especially at the end. It was a rough episode at the end because, like I said, I never saw it before, so I didn't know what to expect. But the biggest question I have is, who the hell is Jacob?
Oh
hell
my. Yeah. So, you will find out who Jacob is, but that's a long road ahead. So hang in there, Derek. More Jacob to come, but not next week. Next week, it's going to be season 3, episode 7. It's called Not in Portland. And for the first time, an other gets an episode. We get to learn about Juliet, and Derek is going to take us through that story. And we will see you then next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Lost in My 40s is a Spacebear Media production. Executive produced and edited by me, Lacy J. Sound engineering, editing, and original music by Benjamin Trimp. Like and follow Lost in My 40s on Facebook to interact with your hosts. Plus, follow Spacebear Media on YouTube to watch our episode pre-shows. You can also find us at Spacebear_media on Instagram and Twitter. Or come to our website, spacebearmedia.com.